Sweet. Let's get right into it. Let's get started. We'll be talking about BOOJI and Sad Boy, two meme coins here in the Solana blockchain. I'm super excited to just talk about both of these. BOOJI, first of all, for those of you who want to check it out, you can check out BOOJImemecoin.com. One of their catchphrases is not just a meme, but a movement. And then with Sad Boy, you can check them out at sadboysoul.com. One of their catchphrases being "Sad Boys were built different." So I just want to just talk about how these projects are just evolving and becoming more than just a meme coin. I want to start with you, Crypto Grant. I've been following you personally on TikTok since for me the NFT days when they were super popular. Everyone was talking about it. I was definitely following you back then. I've been following you since then. And once you dropped the BOOJI project, I was super excited to hear about it, especially now that we have a token that we can do spaces and collabs like this kind of stuff with. So I'm just curious, when it comes to defining BOOJI as more than a meme coin or not just a meme but a movement. I'm curious what you mean behind that as far as more than meme coin.
Well, we're going to change that tagline to disrupting through kindness and caring because that tagline's been overused. But um, really, when I started out, if you watched the original video, I had been trading meme coins because meme coins became really popular right before Thanksgiving or whenever, maybe the end of October. And that little kid, gave everybody the finger when he rugged his project live on the air. And I was walking the dog and I was like, how hard can it be? If a 14-year-old kid can do it, then I can do it. So I went on Pumped Out Fun and threw my $100 at it, came up with a name, used a photograph, and not really thinking anyone would get into it. And then I started talking about it on my TikTok channel, like I always do, because I walk down these dark alleys by myself in the crypto world and, stumble into things and figure them out. And people started buying it. So I had this big bag of bougie. So I started giving it away, airdropping all the new bougie buyers, just dropping them a million coins, still thinking it wouldn't go that far. And then the next thing I know, we have a Telegram. They fixed up the deck screener. We had a Discord. And I've been retired for 15 years. And as a branding expert, a creative director in advertising, I thought, well, okay, so I've, opened Pandora's box. I might as well put my skill set to use here and build a brand and do something with it. So instantly I attached wildlife conservation because I'm like, I'm going to have a platform. I'm not going to just suck up oxygen. I don't need the money, so the dev wallet isn't going to sell anytime soon. So I just decided to start adopting gorillas from the Diane Fossey Foundation. That was really fun because they started at like $50 and up to like 150. And at that time, everybody was really making money in bougie, so they're adopting gorillas. And Diane Fossey's emailing me saying, "What's going on? We'll give you a coupon." I'm like, "This is awesome." And it just kept snowballing and growing and evolving. And, of course, our chart shot up to almost 8 million and then retraced like every crypto does. And now you're kind of, figuring out, what's the next step? Where can we take this project? What can we do? We're definitely going to launch a new NFT collection here shortly. We're collecting artwork, letting people submit to a competition where they can win some Solana and have a live interview with me and get their name out there, that sort of thing. So it just kind of morphed and kept morphing and continues to morph. And I'm just trying to use the platform to do something good, the same as you guys are. Um, and here we are today. I think we last I looked, we're at a 1.2 or something market cap, and we're just trying to create another tipping point. And maybe it's the NFTs, I don't really know, but where more eyeballs come. We've released a PR release, and it's just building a brand, building your community, focused more on that than the actual price action because that can drive you crazy. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, it's funny. Austin Bitcoin's actually just posted two charts side by side. We had the same exact experience. With the pump to 7-8 mil market cap, then retracement. Now finding that floor and finding that bottom, and the same deal. With the dev not selling. It's really does. It's different than a lot of projects. I know a lot of people coming into the space. Or coming into just our telegrams or for our case Discord. They might be skeptical at first because that's it's crypto. Usually the devs are the first ones to sell off the first pump. So it's exciting to see that there's not just there's more projects out there, other than just Sad Boy, who have devs who are willing to actually let their holders, experience Web3 to the fullest without rug pulling them. Awesome. I just want to get to you next about Sad Boy, with going beyond a meme coin. I know with you coming from the Web2 stock world, I'm curious why you decided to also I know with Crypto Granny, it was just seeing all the pump fun Honestly, I made one too back then. I was like, oh, this like how hard could this be? So I'm curious, Austin. What prompted you to decide to get into the Web3 world after being in the stocks for so long?
I don't know, man. It just it interested me, and it just looked like an interesting vehicle where people could participate in something with both their voice and their money simultaneously, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of like a little bit of a free for all. I mean, this is the Wild West, if we're being honest. Uh, I didn't expect it to do what it did. I mean, this was kind of a test for what I was planning to do, but then this became the thing that we're doing. So we had to let it ride. I mean, from the moment of inception, I didn't like much like I guess me and the granny are on the same page. Like, dude, look, I ain't doing this. Like, make some money. I'll trade the markets to make money. I don't want to do that here. I think this could raise significant capital for an existing nonprofit that I've been a part of since day one that has done like I don't know, we've done the infinite. In my opinion, we've done a lot. It's unbelievable. Helped over 1,000 families through the process of getting help for addiction. Just it's been amazing. And my vision was kind of like, this could bring more attention to the nonprofit and what we're doing because addiction affects everyone. It does not discriminate, nor will it ever. And the sad reality is like most people don't know that there is free help available. They just assume they're going to have to pay or something. That's not true. And that's what we've always done. And we've always helped everyone. And so I kind of looked at this as an interesting, I guess, avenue to bridge them. I mean, I can't act like it was all intentional because it wasn't. I think it just was like it just became, and that's kind of what makes it beautiful. Like it just happened, and I think it was like a kind of very organic evolution of just wanting to do something, a little bit of pain, and taking that pain and transforming it into something regenerative that other people could see themselves in and participate in that maybe they wouldn't have spoken up or had a voice otherwise. Like what I've noticed, and my favorite part about it is that there are probably more people that are interested in participating in Sad Boy because they've lost someone or they're losing someone right now, or they have close friends or family that have struggled with mental health and addiction because it's affected them. They are participating in the project, whereas they would have never touched crypto. So I think it's a cool thing that's kind of adopted regular everyday people to a new medium, a new asset class, a new form and function just because they believe in the underlying mission. And I think that the way that both these projects have been doing things is the way that crypto could and should be. I think this is the gold standard of crypto, in my opinion. There's
I
no
agree.
one party dumping and fucking over all these. It just doesn't. We haven't done it. We won't do it. I mean, it's just the reality. I told them I'll watch this fucking burn before I ever do that. And I think if you can get a collection of people to adopt that same mentality, you have a fucking movement that will move mountains. And that's kind of what we've seen. And I just it's been wild, man. And I love it. And like this whole pump fund thing with them getting sued, like I'm so glad we got in when we did, because the reality of this, guys, is that if pump fund goes down, one of the major mediums to be able to form these coins without like significant development resources, that makes every single project that's reached bonding a lot more valuable because there are far fewer of them. And it means there will be no more. It's kind of like with the whole idea with Bitcoin is that like if they're not going to ever produce more, then demand will only drive price up. Adoption will only drive price up. The same is true here, to where I think Solana memes could see a really like nice appreciation if pump fund goes down, because no, like these idiots won't be able to just spin up these coins every 15 minutes. So people are going to have to go to the ones that have lasted, and usually the ones that lasted are more legitimate. So it will hopefully bring more eyes to more legitimate projects like the two you see in front of you. And I don't know, I just couldn't be happier to be here. I like the Web3 community. To me, is like they just give a shit, and I really respect that and love that. And I think that that's an important piece of this. I mean, we've always seen that in Penny Boys, but to reach kind of a whole new audience and see all these new additional people out there that actually care and want to participate and do something and say something and have a voice that matters and get it out into the world and make a difference, like that to me is what makes it all worth it. Like the people are what makes it worth it. And I don't think none of this is possible without the people. So at the end of the day, we'll do whatever the hell we have to do to drive this bitch to 100 million. And you mark my words, it will go. I can't tell you it'll be tomorrow, but I will tell you it'll go. Just quick little update. If you missed the space earlier, Marshawn Lynch's team, very interested. No commitment, be very clear. No commitment, very interested. That's beast mode. Yes, that Marshawn Lynch. Um, we are talking with another project, and I guess me and the Grand need to get together. I know the guy that owns the NASDAQ billboard, so I'm trying to pull in as many of the connections that I have out in the kind of public markets world to assist us here. He gave me an extremely like a rate that you're not going to get with additional run time that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Basically, he'd run it for an entire week, 20-second intervals. Usually it flashes for 5 seconds. We'd get 20 seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's huge. And we're talking with a couple other really cool projects, and hopefully BOOJI too, to just kind of collaborate and throw in to mitigate, the cost. It's expensive because part of the thing, guys, with projects like ours, where we're not dumping it on everyone, means that the budget is constrained. So like that's kind of the irony, is like the way people grow these projects is by having these huge budgets, but surprise, surprise, they only have the huge budget because they screwed over 1,000 people that became exit liquidity.
Thank you
So
for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
common sense. I mean, we're in this weird world where it's like everyone's playing pretend, I guess, where it's like degen, man, and it's like really just everyone fucking each other over. And I don't care to do that. I don't operate that way. And I think that there are a lot of people that desperately love crypto, and they desperately want something valuable that they can believe in, get behind, support, and a community to back it, right? That also doesn't do those things because I don't think most people share those values. They do if they operate out of fear, because we're all given a choice every day, fear or faith. Which one are you going to pick? If I operate out of faith, I'm operating in good faith. I trust in my peers. I trust in my other people, and I'm willing to put myself on the line and commit and contribute something, basically to meet you at the 50-yard line. No relationship can function any other way. When I operate out of fear, I'm constantly worrying that I'm going to lose something. And so out of the fear of losing something, I screw you over. Here's the irony. I give myself the exact thing I fear. By screwing you over, now you've lost and you lose faith. You don't support the project. You're not posting on Twitter. You're not conducting raids. You're not talking about it. So the other 10 people that would have joined and bought $10,000 worth are no longer going to come. So if everyone holds that line, which shout out to my whales, if you guys are on this, like we've got a team of like 7 to 10 people, guys, that we're looking at 6-figure profits, life-changing money, didn't sell a coin. Think about that for a second. I really encourage everyone to think about that. I was looking at personally hundreds of thousands of dollars, didn't sell a coin. So again, if that didn't convince you, I don't know what will. I'll shut up because I just keep
Well, Crypto
chatting.
Granny was saying the same thing. How she as a dev is not selling. I'm assuming her main holders in the same way. I want to, because there's a lot of similarities outside of just the chart. Being a docs team and all that. There's a charity component. I've seen on both projects talking about NFTs in the future coming out. But right now, I want to do focus on the first thing, the charity. I just want to know why why y'all each chose the charities, types of donations that you did. With Sad Boy being the substance abuse recovery and the mental health awareness, and then with BOOJI, Crypto Grant. I'm going to start with you. I know that you have the Gorilla Fund and the Orangutan Project, Gorilla Fund protecting gorillas and their ecosystem with science-driven, community-focused strategy, and the Orangutan Project, safeguarding orangutans and their rainforest through targeted adoption and conservation efforts. I'm just curious how you decided, upon the gorillas, the orangutans, and B, just how's that been going so far, with the donations, how's the community taken to it?
Well, the reason I chose it was because the image I chose when I created Bougie was the picture I had taken in Greenwich Village of a big ape brass sculpture. But since I was a little kid, I just had this love affair with monkeys and gorillas and orangutans. And so it's kind of always been a thing for me. And the two just kind of came together. And then I did my homework on Fosse and I liked what I saw there. So it was the first foundation we picked, orangutan project. After we did Fosse for about a month, I decided, well, let's spread the love around, and found them. And that one video on TikTok with the orangutan driving the golf cart's always one of my favorites. So I know they're extremely intelligent and they're endangered. both species. You wouldn't know it because nobody talks about it, but they're hunted and their hands are used for ashtrays and all kinds of gross stuff. So just because I had a passion for monkeys, and I wanted to stay within the meme coin humor, and I thought, well, okay, this all ties together. And to be honest, I didn't really think it through that far. It all happened and came at me so fast. It was like just whatever in that very moment was the first good idea I could come up with. I kind of just applied it. So I've said this about BOOJI. The project can continue to evolve. We haven't picked one perfect graphic or one image. We basically allow anyone to create BOOJI art that, as long as it has a monkey in it, it's good. And the same with our foundations. We will adopt another one, a third one. And we just basically inspire. I started, by adopting the gorillas and putting my certificates up and then showing that I was donating to the orangutan project. And people just followed suit. And you were talking earlier about the fact that we didn't dump on the community and raise a whole lot of capital at the beginning. One of the reasons we're going to do the NFT collection is to create a marketing budget, and the NFTs will basically fund donating and adopting, 20% going to that, and then the rest going to, create some kind of marketing budget because we are organic. And people have donated to our community wallet where we spent a little bit of it on our PR release, but we're going to have to organically build that fund and then spend it accordingly. So the NFTs, there'll be like a 25 NFT limited edition release followed by another, and all that money will go right towards marketing and adopting. So like you said earlier, it wasn't about me making money. I don't need the money. I accidentally created this, and I hate the meme coin space. When I would help people bond over from Pumped Out Fun, and then they'd immediately rug on me, and I was like, this blows. I like trading meme coins. I really do. I used to be a meme coin trader back in the PooCoin days, but I just found that it got worse and worse. So when I did create it, I was creating it with the idea that I would literally flip the script, that I would do the opposite of everybody else, that instead of rugging, I was going to hug. No rugs, just hugs, and just give back. And that was what all the airdrops were about in the beginning. And I just really wanted to give everybody who screwed people over the finger and say, you know what, there's a better way of doing this. And my project will outlast yours and will one day be really big. And even when people come to my lives and they want me to do chart analysis, and I pull up their charts and I go right to the first day, I go to the day chart and I go, how'd you start out? And I'll say, before I even get there, I'll say, because Granny doesn't like red candles at the beginning of a project. And sure enough, they all have them. I'm like, well, that's disappointing, but you can rebuild, you can get your credibility back. And I let them know that they've lost their credibility. I mean, I'm sorry, but you basically lined your own pockets and now you want everyone to jump in on your project. And, I'm not saying that it's dead, but I think you have a lot of explaining to do. So, anyway, I forget what else I was talking about, but that pretty much, I think, answers your question.
No, I know a lot of people who are especially new to the crypto space, as holders or even just founders, whatever. They don't understand the amount of money that some of these projects are putting into these, into these coins and the marketing, the listings, and all this kind of stuff. It's astronomical, and a lot of the times, these coins are, these projects, the ones that not like us, they are making that money, off of their holders, whether it's during that, that coin or the coin before that, or the 7 coins before that, because there are serial rug pullers out there. It's not easy to do it the right way, but it is still the right way. And obviously, with the charitable donations, that's just one part of why both BOOJI and Sad Boy are doing it the right way. Obviously the docs teams, not the devs not selling, creating actual use cases, not just trying to just make money just to make money, and then sell them on the holders. So Austin, I want to get to you when it comes to the charitable donations. I know that you have Never Alone Recovery, your nonprofit, helping people not only get into recovery but also stay out of recovery, as opposed to a lot of the other bad actors out there who only care about getting them in and back in and back in and ching to ching to ching. That's not what you're about. So I'm curious why you decided to use Web3 crypto, to do these charitable donations as opposed to just doing the Web 2 way, with your nonprofit.
So that's a good question. So kind of the reason I was even messing around with this space to begin with is because what we're working on right now, which will fundamentally change the way people get help. And I know that seems like an intense statement, but I'll tell you what, this thing has blown my mind. So I've been going to therapy for 10 years. And my therapist is like a Jungian analyst. Like the dude is the creme de la creme of therapists. And I brought him the insights, analysis, and suggestions made by the model that we've coded. It's agentic AI. And he was floored, dude. Floored. Could not believe what this thing was able to produce without really a huge learning curve. So, what that means for the world is that if you have a smartphone, you're going to have access to deep analytic insight into yourself with extremely simple but quality suggestions on how you can help sort through those issues, referrals and recommendations to resources that can further assist you in person, as well as like a more emergency kind of helpline feature to immediately get you in touch with someone should you be suicidal or trying to enter substance abuse treatment or even mental health treatment for that matter. This is going to basically break the barrier that is access to mental health and substance abuse resources globally. It will have no limits because, again, with the advent of AI, we now have the ability to code it in any language that's needed. So the native user language of the smart device, like your phone, will be able to translate everything. Like there's basically no issues with crossover, and the model has already blown my mind. The team working on it is just I got so lucky, man, with some of them. Like the one of the main guys that's coding the machine learning portion, like already has, I believe it's 2 algorithms that are currently being utilized in trading by JP Morgan. It's mind blowing. The kid is at a top tier university, already almost. I want to say he's like a teacher's assistant, something like he's already being invited to teach some of this stuff at a what I consider a top tier United States college. So like the agentic AI piece is going to be game changing. The SAD community will have first access to it. And one thing I'm going to try to do is also incorporate it in some way into a donational aspect as we get funded for this idea, which we do believe will get funded with a between 250 and $300 million valuation based on comparisons in the industry. But SAD will be the first community to leverage it, and it's going to be like it's mind blowing, dude. I know it feels like it. Like I'm telling you, it's mind blowing what some of this stuff can do. And because I've been in therapy so long, and I'm in recovery, and I focus on driving into myself and ripping it apart and putting it back together, I was able to train the initial instance of the model very well, enough so that it knew enough about me that it could genuinely provide like true therapeutic resource. Disclaimer, by no means am I saying this instead of therapy. This is a tool to assist in every single thing you're doing in your current life to understand yourself, promoting well-being, and just basic understanding of psychological principles so that people can really just kind of see the truth behind the lies, because we lie to ourselves every day. And talking to a machine, I'll tell you right now, as someone who's used it, there is no judgment function. Like anytime we talk to another human being, there's always a slight fear. No matter how little, there's a slight fear of judgment that is completely removed when you are discussing things with artificial intelligence. So I think that alone will make mass adoption of this instrument just fast. I don't know.
No,
It's just
I know.
fucking mind blowing.
Speaking of mass adoption, I know back in 2021, I was talking about NFTs for a while, and I was talking about how in 2022, you just wait and see, or 2023, 24, by then you just wait and see. Everyone's gonna be talking about NFTs. Everyone's gonna be repping the NFT PFP. Obviously, I wasn't right. We did have a little bit of a bear run before maybe the potential bull run here in 2025. I did pin to the spaces here up the top one of the tweets from Crypto Granny that reads 5 reasons NFTs will make a 2025 comeback. Which leads me to my next point. I want to ask both of you about these potential NFTs. I've seen both of you talking about the potential of, for Crypto Granny, a BOOJI NFT, for Austin, the Sad Boy NFT. I'm curious, what the plans are for that, starting with you, Crypto Granny, and just, what the motivation behind creating NFTs are. I know at first you said, there was the funds, because, we're not selling on our tokens on people. So, we need to create funds somehow for the project, and NFTs is a great way to do that. But I'm just curious, if there's any going to like any use cases in the works, or in discussion, and just what the possible plans are for the NFT. Because I'm a huge fan of the NFT space.
Yeah, well, like you said, back in the day, I was cranking out NFT collections, mostly just my own art, and then I created some crypto mule deer, and I gave them all personalities, and I listed each one individually. So I think I listed 5 collections: Women Have Power, my photography, my artwork, and then OG influencers, which was the first AI generated artwork that I played with, and I would take people like Marilyn Monroe and twist them up in AI so that I wasn't going to be accused of copyright infringement or anything. But so that was just really fun and interesting. And like you said, for whatever reason, NFTs just kind of got quiet. And I still follow Bored Ape Yacht Club and all those to see what they're up to. But I don't know. I've been reading a lot of stuff that says that NFTs are going to make a comeback and that there's going to be real world use cases that are going to be implemented, from real estate to whatever you want to tokenize, anything you want to sell. Will turn out to be an NFT on the blockchain versus, a piece of paper that you have to go to a bank and a lawyer and all that to get notarized. And as far as Bougie's NFTs, we're deciding, what will be the what can you use your NFT for besides just cool art. And we've talked about VIP entrance to any kind of event we may throw, or I don't know, we're brainstorming and spitballing all kinds of ideas that we can attach to the NFT to make it intriguing, and be more than just a PFP or whatever. But and we could have splattered 10,000 out there, but that's just not my thing. That's why I kind of like the AI self-created bougie artwork that people can turn into an NFT by dropping it into our competition folder. The reason they have to drop it into the competition folder is to basically agree to give us the copyright so they can't come back later if that NFT turns out to be $100,000 and say, hey, I never agreed to that. So we have them drop them in a folder just to make sure that they understand the rules. And even if we don't, generate enough of that, we'll crank them out ourselves, because it's, with Chat GPT, it's a lot of fun. And I just think that NFTs in general are really cool. I mean, I love collecting them. For me, they're like trading cards. I own a lot of NFTs, other people's NFTs. And one of the first ones I bought was from an Asian artist, Badiochi or something his name was. And that thing, I sold it and I've watched it. It's resold like 25 times. It's worth a whole lot more than I sold it for. But to me, that's fascinating. And I think with our meme coin projects, NFTs are just, they go hand in hand. And whether it's, allowing us to donate and adopt more gorillas by generating revenue, and just getting the community involved. I mean, it all comes back to home, and I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun too, and I think that's one thing the meme coin space offers is, yes, you're investing, and yes, it's exciting, and yes, you can lose your balls, and yes, you can become an overnight millionaire, but at the same time, wrapping a good cause around it, it makes it this big pool of many things instead of just one thing. Like when I trade Nvidia stock, I get it, I trade it, I own it. And it's over. So I think it just offers up a whole host of different emotions. So our NFT collection isn't completely mapped out. We haven't, launched it yet, but any idea is a good idea. So if you want to join our Telegram and throw in some more ideas, I'm open.
Yeah, I pinned the art competition you're talking about. I think it's a great idea, letting them create their own NFTs. I know when when I was minting NFTs left and right, the one thing I always was a little salty about, like, when you spend a bunch of money minting NFTs, it just doesn't really vibe with you, the traits and the characteristics and all that. So it's nice that you're, allowing your holders to, customize it. With I think it's the first place prize with $30 in Soul, second $20 in Soul, and third $10 with artists getting the credits into the NFT, embedded into the NFT, and live interview with you, which is super exciting. So, for those of you who are artists out there, definitely be sure to check that out. The tweet is pinned in the spaces. Austin, I know you also have been talking about NFTs. I think you're in the same boat where it's, still in the planning period, planning stages. These are, relatively, with Sad Boy being a relatively new project. So I'm curious just what you can share, about the possibility or the future NFT, in the works.
That was directed at me, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just didn't catch my name. Yeah, so we have already engaged the King. If you haven't looked him up yet, King Saladin on Instagram. Can you close that door? King Saladin on Instagram. huge artist. Done stuff with Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys, Netflix, eBay, Listerine, like big time. His artist hosted on the New York Stock Exchange private floor. So big dog. He's going to commission a one-of-one original Sad Boy painting, which is going to be awesome. And then on top of that, he is going to draw up the NFT collection. TBD on the date. I don't want to commit too early because it's really just on his team in his time, because he's got to hand draw the initial elements and then his team basically extrapolates them. So it's not going to be any AI. Like, we're not just copy pasting. It's like he's going to hand draw his art and then it will be transformed into digital. And it will be a smaller than typical collection, but again, this is going to be a real high profile artist doing these. And much like Crypto Granny was just explaining, like, again, it makes it difficult when you're not going to dump on anybody to raise marketing funds. We've already come out of pocket, I think, good chunk, 5 figures, easy. But to make this a little easier on the old pocketbook, we're going to do the collection, which will also come with some pretty exclusive perks that I think everybody's going to very much enjoy, especially if you are with us over at Pennyboy Stock Alerts and you're trading with us in the Sad Alpha Lounge, where we're making stupid money because meme coins are ridiculous. But the exclusive perks and benefits, I think, will be more than worth the cost of the NFT. We want it to be accessible. We don't want any of this to be like you have to, be making 600 grand a year to afford it. The whole point is like this is for everybody. But the NFTs will be badass. They will have utility, and they will be, in my opinion, worth a lot more cash value than everyone will buy them for. And the goal is to sell them out quick, sell them out to the community and the true believers. And it's gonna be awesome. And while I'm up here, I want to give a shout out. You should pull Plath on up here. Wonderful project. Crypto Granny, you'd love them. Similar
I
to
know
what you
the
do.
Plath guys. I
Yeah, I
know
was
them.
gonna
Yeah.
say that's right up. That sounds like it's right up your alley. And I hope that you guys are kind of seeing the bigger picture here. Like, look at the 3 projects. Like, so if you include Plath, like, look at those 3 projects between us, BOOJI, Plath. A nonprofit element. The team itself is not trying to use you to make money. They're trying to build you up so that we can support a cause that actually matters and actually does something in the world. And like, I don't know, man. I see a lot on Facebook. It is what it is. Do what you want to do. All these people like, what's the next? What's the next? I got screwed again. And then the next day, God, I got screwed again. Why all these projects suck? God, I got screwed again. Why all these projects suck? Why, you know what I mean? At a certain point, it's like you've got a few charts here with months of, at least, almost 2 months of life, which is important, right? You don't see one candle up and one candle down. True charts. Like, you don't have to be a genius. True charts. Just look at the chart.
If you look at your
I
chart
think,
and you look at the BOOJI chart and you look at the Bitcoin chart and you look at XRP, they all look the same. They start out with all
Mhm.
this excitement and we all retrace, and then we find our floor and our support, and then slowly, organically, you build it back up.
So let me ask you this: if someone would have told you, 5 years ago, hey, buy some Bitcoin, buy some XRP, you'll be happy. And nah, 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 nah. Look where you'd be now. And even to make, the Murad argument with some of the memes, a lot of those charts are a big old U, but I don't think it has to be. I think that those are projects where initially someone screwed everyone over and then the community took over and then they became something wonderful. Imagine being part of a project where nobody got screwed over and you can just be a part of something wonderful.
Yeah, and as far as price action goes, all crypto is going to go up, it's going to retrace, it's going to go up, it's going to retrace. You want an overall trending chart up over time. And like you said, you can't build your project overnight. And I keep reminding my community that this is a startup. We're 2 months old. We can only achieve so much in 2 months, especially because we're not paying anybody. Everybody's doing volunteer work. So my community is like, why'd your price go down? I go, it went down like 3%. We started at what, $10,000 when we bonded or whatever it was, some ridiculously small amount of money. So I laugh. I'm like, okay, well, look where we were, and in 2 months where we've gotten. Imagine where we'll be in another 2 months, and another 2 months. So
You said it best. These are startups. When it comes to not like the shit coins or whatever. Projects are actually building. Like we both are, Sad Boy and BOOJI. These are like startups, and typically people who are successful in trading can usually be successful when it comes to startups and entrepreneurship and all that. I know both you, Crypto Granny, and Oz, you've been trading for a long time. You understand the charts. You're not worried about, a couple of red candles, a little bit, a pullback or whatever, because you understand how it works. We have on the stage, I just want to throw it over to Amy really quick. When it comes to the current charts of both BOOJI and, as well as Sad Boy, I know Crypto Granny was talking, look at the XRP, look at Bitcoin. What are you, as a technical analyst expert, Amy? What are you seeing on these charts currently? And
Just one second to lead into that, because I think it'll give what she's going to tell you a lot of credence. Less than 1% of projects make it off of pump.fun and get bonded. Of those 1%, less than 1% make it to a 5 million plus market cap. And of those 1% of 1%, less than 1% stabilize above a $1 million market cap. So 1% of 1% of 1%.
What do you see on the charts, Amy? What's your feedback?
Exactly what Austin just said. Hi, everybody. It's wild being on a stream with Matt and Austin again. But exactly what Austin just said, the chart survived the initial whale pump of just jumping onto something that had good volume and a little bit of buzz. And then it had that second impulsive pop up to 5 million last week. And then it established a higher low, and it's starting to break again. And this is the floor level. This 0.0015 to 0.003. That's where you want to accumulate. And the thing is, like, you look at projects like anything XYZ Vitali puts out, and it's all pump and dump, and these people continually buy into it. Or like Alley Cat a few days ago, clear as day, the only people that made money on the coin were the development team. They made 40K. They dumped the chart, and then they offered a diluted share buyback of like 5% of what the pre-sale was. Like, and I get it. Meme point. People are burnt out. Celebrities rip you off. Everybody rips you off. You got all these celebrity coins. There's this tower of meme coins that I saw today, and there's like Austin and Sad has already broken through like 90% of them. Like already beat 90% of them, because there's no way, like, and I'm not trying to flex money, anything else. Austin's too humble to say it. There is no way Austin would dump this chart for the pennies he would get to do so. Austin has multiple companies, makes very good money if you followed him trading. Like, this is passion project over profitability. The profitability is the bonus long term. Of course, everybody wants to make money, but the chart, like, what really got my attention was there's a lot of the members from the Discord that didn't sell on these pushes and held strong. And these are by no means rich people. These are by no means ignorant people. These are seasoned long-term traders that believe in the project so much that it was not worth it for them to make profits. And listen, like, I get nothing out of this, guys. Most people are shocked to hear me on this stream. I'm not affiliated with Penny Boys anymore. I enjoy calling out bullshit. And for, like, that's what I do. I've been calling out the Alley Cat people all week because it's pathetic. It's crap, and like in the likability, the 8-bit memes, they're little played out. Like the Sad Boy, the character, the meme of it, what it stands for in today's day and age. And of course, the recovery bit hits me personally, and that's where I really have the passion in it. But just in general, it's like, it's marketable. The meme is marketable. It sticks in your head, like, just naturally. I found it without even knowing Austin made it. Like, literally, I bought Sad before I even knew it was affiliated with people I've known for years. It's just, like, usually the risk is so high when you're looking to invest in something that could 20x, 50x, whatever it might be. But this is one where the risk is so low at where we're at now to just throw in crypto for a long time. My average on XRP is 36 cents. Austin knows, 18K Bitcoin. He was putting those alerts out. Austin's been around crypto for a long time. Matt, all these people, and it's one where even, like the proof of concept is there, there's a utility behind it, and that's wonderful because that's what gives you the stability to know it'll be around for a long time. But for people that are like, I just want to make money, it's got that too. Period. It simply does. The chart is there, and right now that third break where we claim that higher low and we're breaking into that, 0.002 range into the 0.003 range again is substantial. Like this is the loading zone. That's pretty much all I got on it. I get nothing from this, I'm surprised I'm on this stream, to be honest, but I believe in the project, and Austin's good people. So
Yeah, and Amy's been calling out some fire alpha over, and we have a sad boy alpha area for those who are interested in trading. Obviously, we're not all just about like, hey, pump this, pump that, or get into this, before rugging. We're looking into like technical analysis as well as risk management, trading psychology, the whole nine yards, education. These are like some types of like Web 2 quote unquote utilities. Which we do over in Penny Boys with the alerts and education. Speaking of Web 2 type utility. The swag, the BOOJI swag, cryptogram. I want to talk to you about that. How did that come about? Because I've been looking at those, and it's really awesome. Was that something that you like? Did you do the art for that, or how did that come to be?
Yeah, because having been in advertising and marketing, I haven't thrown an event ever that didn't have a swag bag in it, and I loved them. I love the hat and the koozie and the sweatshirt, the hoodie. So Zazzle just allows us to create swag without having to do the fulfillment end of it. So one day, hopefully, we'll actually print it ourselves and ship it out ourselves. But for now, because I'm a one woman show, I figured, well, I'll just leverage technology and let the t-shirts and the hats live online, and if people want them they can get them. I bought a bunch and shipped them out to some early adopters for free. But I love swag. Who doesn't like a good swag bag? I think the one at the Golden Globes was worth 1.5 million. So if you were a presenter at the Golden Globes, your swag bag was worth 1.5 million. So ours aren't quite that nice, but we're getting there.
Baby steps, right? Y'all will get there, right?
On that note, we might be able to connect you with one of our options analysts. He actually just the guy just showed up with a printing press one day, an embroidery shop. I don't know. He just came out of nowhere. We are just on a voice call, and he said, "Look at this." He's a businessman, so he's smart. He's done this before, but he's been printing all our stuff. They do a great job. Best part is you might actually be able to get a little margin out of that to make donations or do whatever else with it. So we can
That'd
connect on
be
that
that'd be
later. But
awesome, yeah, because right now, Zazzle doesn't pay us anything, so.
oh, they just rip you off. We used to use Teespring, and it's the biggest scam in the world. Not only do they charge you full price for the actual shirt, they also charge you markup, and it's like it's insanity. It's just insanity.
But I do believe in getting the name out there, especially because bougie is such a weird word and spelled so weird that we were looking at that Bitcoin conference that's going to take place in Vegas on May 27th, 28th, 29th, something like that. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sit in a booth and hand out bougie stuff, but I would walk around with a bag just full of t-shirts and hand them out and caps and just get everyone in the whole conference walking around with the word bougie on their head. So I don't know. We'll see if that happens.
No, I love that. You're talking about the the Golden Globes, the 1.5 million, and shooting for the stars type deal. And so I'm curious. Here we are here in 2025, right in the beginning of 2025, and I don't know exactly what phase y'all are, even Sad Boys is as far as the roadmaps go. But I see your phase 4 here, Crypto Granny, the BOOJI Elite Trading Club, the BOOJI Learning Academy, BOOJI Game, BOOJI Staking, BOOJI Party. For both of you, Austin and Crypto Granny, my next question. This might be the final one, question wise, and then we can just get some questions from the from the audience. But my last question here is, what is the in your case, I see phase 4 is your final or one of the final phases. Like, I'm curious, what does BOOJI and what does Sad Boy look like a year down the line, 2 years, 3 years? Like, what is this like? Like, when do you finally sit back and say, all right, I built what I wanted to, and what does that look like? So I'm curious. I'm going to throw it to you over to Crypto Granny first.
Well, that's a good question. And to be honest, I haven't thought that all the way through. But right now, I just feel like I have an overwhelming amount of things to achieve in front of me. So I just try to focus on day one or what I can do today. But I hope that one day the market cap gets to a place where I don't even watch the chart anymore, and I don't wake up first thing in the morning to make sure we're above a $1 million market cap, or to wake up one evening I found us at a $7 million market cap, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. But yeah, I hope that we can get to a very comfortable level, make that somewhere above 10, 20 million, 30 million, somewhere around there. And then also at that point, hopefully be able to, have a team that perhaps even can draw an income because of whatever they're doing. I think that would be super cool just to be able to pay people for their expertise or hire somebody on the outside to develop some further AI agents that we can embed in the website, whether it be a trading AI agent or even like you were saying, one that could talk back to you, that could learn you and learn something about you first, and then give you trading advice. I don't know. I mean, I just think sky's the limit, especially with the technology that's evolving every day. So I don't really know what the end goal is, other than to just continue to make it better and better and better to a point where they don't even need me anymore. They don't need me out there on TikTok. So I think that would be the ultimate.
Well, as one of your followers, I'd be very sad if you stopped posting content. But no, I get what you're saying though, for sure. And I think
I'll
that's
never stop posting content, but I just want to be able to talk about a bit more things than bougie. I try to still do that, by the way. I still invite people into my home, my art studio. I'm about to go up to Colorado in spring, so my whole format will have mountains in it and hikes. But yeah, I just want to be able to make sure that we went back and picked up all the people that bought at the top, and then from there they just have to learn how to trade it.
I'm also just a follow up to that, like, because you mentioned the trading aspects. I know you've been trading for a while, with crypto, and a lot of projects founders, whatever people on the team, they a lot of them don't understand. A lot of them aren't, experienced, and not just trading crypto, but like also doing it consistently and successfully. Getting lucky on one meme coin doesn't mean you're a good trader. But you've been doing this for a while, once again, consistently and successfully. So I'm curious, what kind of aspects from your trading do you plan on like implementing into, or possibly implementing into BOOJI? I know you mentioned the trading AI bots and stuff. I know we're still in the beginning phases and all that. But I'm curious if you thought about like using that expertise in any ways, with the BOOJI, because you've been doing it for a while and definitely have been very successful with it.
Well, I've made some bad trades, don't get me wrong. And even when I was first trading Bitcoin, I would panic sell, and took me a while to realize that it was just stupid to sell. If I was going to buy Bitcoin, it was just buy and hold. And I have this thing that I say to people: when everyone else is crying, you should be buying, because it just means that the chart's dipped, and that's your entry point. That's your chance to get back in at a lower price if you believe in the project, if you believe in Bitcoin, if you believe in BOOJI or Sad Boy or whatever the project may be. I've just learned that if I have conviction, it doesn't matter to me where the price of Polkadot is, or XRP or Solana, because I think we're still early to crypto, and these projects will be around if I've done my homework and I've picked some good ones. So, my trading strategy now is basically more buy and hold, which doesn't mean that I don't swing trade occasionally and scrape profits off. I usually try to get my principal out and let my profits ride. And I think with BOOJI, we're going to try to teach all that stuff. I think we're going to try to put a curriculum together to onboard women. I think there's too many women out there, especially I can see my data analytics when I go live. 15% of my audience is women. And I think that, they're sitting there watching their boyfriends, you know, trade meme coins all night long, and they're getting ignored. And you have a phone, you just have to have the courage to try. Yeah, you're probably going to lose a few bucks in the beginning, but that's okay. You'll learn how to do it. You'll get better at it. And I just really want to onboard boomers and women, and, try to expand our audience. So I'll do that through some kind of curriculum. I haven't worked it all out, but I've just started like a series. And I'm like, I got you. We'll just teach you how to open up a wallet. We'll teach you how to download the Phantom wallet. We'll teach you how to do one small trade at a time. And I have people ask me all the time, hey, should I put $1,000 in BOOJI? I go, is this your first trade? Yeah. I'm like, no, don't put $1,000 in. Put $50 in and study it for a week. And then you decide how much you want to put in any project for that matter. I mean, I like to test drive everything. So I think I'm just going to use my own philosophies and try not to copy everyone else, and just teach people, to do a little bit of chart analysis, but a lot of deep diving into the project and the people. Because to me, it's more about who's behind the curtain than the actual price ranges. So that's sort of what we're going to do.
No, I
That
love that.
authenticity, Crypto Granny, that's what I've really come to appreciate you for. And that's what I definitely associate your personal brand identity with. And then by extension, the BOOJI community. I mean, I've been in the space for years, worked with hundreds of projects, seen every flavor of KOL. And you in addition to what's going on with Sad Boy, this is revolutionary. It is reinvigorating. It is the next generation of the market as it should be. You guys are a relatively novice class. Like, I would consider y'all the freshman class of Solana right now. These projects are relatively new compared to some of the other heavy hitters in the space. We are in the freshest bull cycle that we've seen for a long while. And you guys are taking full advantage in ways precisely that you should be, right? You're making one quote that's really stood with me and framed my perspective on the current bull run. This Machiavelli quote about how you should make the mistakes of ambition rather than the mistakes of sloth. Many projects in this space make the mistakes of sloth. They will yell in your face that their project is worth buying, but when it comes to the hard work, the many sleepless nights, the hardcore dedication over time of picking charts off the ground, they don't deliver the effort. You guys have proven time and time again that you are delivering the effort, that you put the mission of your projects, that you push your community forward and prioritize that above all else, when many other folks in the space are only looking at price action, only looking at current trending metas, or only looking at how do we make a project that's going to be successful today rather than a project that's going to be successful with longevity. So I give a tremendous amount of credit to you, Crypto Granny, and then and BOOJI as an extension, but that all comes from your guys' genuine heart, that you are actually good people, that you showed up to the space with the best intentions in mind. And it's funny because many other folks looking at you might call you naive, might think that that you don't know what you're doing, right? And I've been promoting BOOJI, I've been promoting Sad Boy in many of my whale chats and many of my private chats. A lot of these industry insider veterans that have been in the space forever, I will send your guys' charts in there religiously. And without exception, especially when you were first starting out, they would almost always fade these charts and criticize you guys and say that they don't have what it takes, they're too new to the space, they don't know what they're doing, they're making all these mistakes. I would push back on that and say that they are making a mistake by judging you guys before you've had a chance to really make an impact. You have proven now to this point, now with months of staying power, with so much development, and to me, what's most important, innovation. The fact that you guys are leveraging crypto to its full strength. It's not just about finance. You guys are pushing the envelope on culture and on technology and on how do we unite people around a common goal, leveraging all of these disparate, unique, and important strategies to market this. And so BOOJI and Sad Boy, for all intents and purposes, in my eyes, have been a masterclass in building a sustainable, long-term, healthy project that makes a meaningful impact in the space, coming from genuine, well-meaning people and assembling communities of some of the most incredible, unique individuals from around the world that are sick and tired of losing and ready to meet this space where it's at and actualize a world that we all know is possible, leveraging this technology to the potential that we all know is possible. So with you, with everyone in this space, I mean, everyone listening as well, thank you guys for being the new generation that's breathing fresh life into this space, proving that good projects and good people are still possible, and every single day working tirelessly to push those envelopes, because that is precisely what we needed. That is precisely the actual breath of fresh air that this market desired. Not the price action, not the volume, not the liquidity, but builders, founders, people that are actually trying to make a difference and leverage this technology to its fullest potential. So pat yourselves on the back, for real. This space has just been an exercise in hearing all of the magnificent and different and interesting things that you guys are doing.
And it starts with the onboarding, for every, when it comes to like, a lot of these people who we're getting into are, the holders, from Penny Boys, stock alerts, and just for in general, a lot of these people are brand new to crypto. And that's why, what Cryptogram was talking about, like the setting up the wallets, like, we have I started like a crypto safety school. We're doing the same exact thing as, as you're talking about Crypto Granny, wallet, how to set up a wallet, how to look out for red flags, how to get onboarded into crypto safely, not how to make $1 million off of, XYZ meme coin or whatever, but, about how to keep yourself safe. Because that's really what matters, when it comes to onboarding, new people who genuinely want to do good, in this space. I think there's a lot of collab opportunities in the future here, with BOOJI and Sad Boy. I think it's a lot easier for both of y'all, stay true, to yourselves and to the project, because y'all are both docs and you are docs traders. Crypto Granny with 100,000 following TikTok. Austin, you got the 45,000 person Discord, a whole company and all that good stuff. Like, there's a lot riding on this, not just, not just your reputations, but also, TikTok companies, the whole 9 yards. And not only that, it's in the trading space. Y'all been preaching and teaching about risk management, trading safely, trading the right way. You can't just go and make a meme coin and then preach the opposite and say, hey, buy this coin, put all your money into it. Neither Sad Boy or BOOJI are doing that. Just like you said, Crypto Granny, it's not about throwing in your life savings. It's about throwing what you're comfortable in, possibly losing, because it is meme coins, and not even that. It's not even about just or you just watch and not even have to throw in any money, which I think is not what a lot of projects are kind of telling their holders. I think it's a lot of it's kind of manipulative when it comes to a lot of these other projects. So I'm curious, Austin, I wanted to throw that same question I did to Crypto Granny earlier to you. Where is Sad Boy for you looking at in 2026, in January, 2027, 2028, and so forth?
Again, I don't mean to be crazy, but no matter what it's going to take, we're getting this bitch to 100 million. And I echo a lot of the sentiments that Crypto Granny is like. I would love to just not have to stress about this much. Crypto is relentless, I'll tell you right now. Trades 24/7. It just doesn't stop. It can be relentless. And people are so used to getting screwed over that, like, I mean, shit, dude, I was gone. It was my daughter's birthday. So I didn't check in for maybe 18 hours. People were like, he left the project. He's gone.
That's 18 days. That's 18 days in crypto, Austin.
It's like, dude, man, y'all got to calm down. But I also understand that you've been taught to be on guard because you've gotten fucked over. I mean, the irony is that it parallels kind of the population that we aim to help, those that are kind of left behind and forgotten, people that have just struggled to adapt to everyday life. And when life becomes too much of a struggle, people often kick you down rather than pull you up, which is disappointing, but it's also not all people. And it takes a group of people echoing that same sentiment to really make a change and make an impact. And that's what recovery's done for me. And I think it will continue to do. I mean, recovery is working right now in this project. That's the point. But as far as where will this project be, I'm relentless. I have not ever been unable to achieve. I've never been unwilling to work as hard as needed to achieve a reasonable goal that I have in mind. I'll put it that way. I've never been unwilling to do the work, and I'm not unwilling to do the work in this situation. I'm absolutely willing, and in this situation now. So I have a huge team of people and just community that have also put in that work. Shout out AZ Chad, fun Chad, who's just grinding 24/7 on socials. It's just crazy to see so many people that care and that want to participate. And this is kind of like, once the mission is on your shoulders, it's your job to either carry it and shut up, or inspire a community to help you lift the weight. And that's exactly what our community has done. And that's exactly why that 100 million is not unattainable. It's not crazy. I don't think it's even the slightest bit unrealistic. Just the sheer reality of some of the people. Like, I wish I could tell everyone some of the people that bought this coin that are high profile, very wealthy people that are just kind of waiting and watching, because they're not going to do anything insensible. But they believe in me, and as a result, they believe in it, and they also love the mission that underpins it. And so, if you knew those people, this thing would be at 20 million right now. And that's kind of how I've been able to move mountains, to get the call with Marshawn Lynch's team, and to get people that you wouldn't normally see. You don't see him talking about coins or anything like that, but we've been able to do some cool stuff. And I mean, beyond that, I would love to see the number one goal above all else is you're going to have an army of people that may have started with 20, maybe 100, maybe 200, that really didn't expect much, but wanted to contribute to the cause, that now have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in upside. I want those people to be receiving life-changing money. That's my goal, because then we have an army we could take to any good project and we can absolutely crush. And I think that we have a very solid base. We do have a large base of holders. I think it's pushing in on 2,000 now at this point. And it's been growing week over week. It's been net positive growth every single week. that's an extremely optimistic sign. As again, to follow the great Murad and his kind of explanation of the memes that make it, you want to see a significant portion of those holders holding over $1,000. You want to see that number climb to 10,000, and then he's found that to be the common thread of these projects that make the $1 billion market cap. And I know I should probably shoot there, but I also don't want to sound insane. So, because that's my real goal at the end of the day, is like to see this at 400 or 500 million. If I'm just being honest with you, that's my personal, like, what would I tell a close friend? That's the truth. It would be 400 or 500 million. But I feel like public facing, saying 100 is a little more feasible. But,
nah, bro, 400 to 500, we can crunch that shit, bro. I gotta say, like, I just know you guys have all the trappings of those major projects. BOOJI and Sad Boy both are projects that are doing precisely what every major player, every $1 billion meme coin that came out of the first major cycle on Solana. I'm talking Bonk, I'm talking Whiff, I'm talking Popcat. All of these major multi-billion-dollar players were born out of the same community energy, the same ethos, the same spirit of innovation, of entrepreneurial experimentation that Sad Boy and BOOJI have integrated into their very DNA. These are looking precisely like Bonk did, precisely like Popcat did, precisely like any of these multi-billion-dollar blue chip super duper memes. All had an authentic, wholesome, grassroots start that can't be emulated through money. You guys are doing something that works because it's coming from your heart. This doesn't come from your wallet.
We were just talking about the future there. I'm curious now, just because I know that Sad Boy's only been around since the beginning of December, and with BOOJI, I know Crypto Granny, you're talking about the origin of BOOJI, how you saw the people on Pump.fun, you want to do it as well. I bet you there's a lot of a lot of different lessons learned along the way, just like with all traders' experiences. The entrepreneurial path is the same exact way, with a lot of bumps and lessons, and all those kind of good things on the road. And I'm curious for both of you, what's like the one thing that you would tell yourself? You can go back in time right before you started the project, like the one thing you say, like, "Hey, don't do this," or "Hey, do this instead of that," or "Hey, make sure you do this." What would be the one thing for those founders who are, they're the possible future founders in the audience who might be thinking, listen to y'all and be like, I want to like make a project, I want to help people, I want to do the right thing. I'm curious what you would tell them, or what's like the one thing you would tell your past self, when you first started this. I want to start with you, Crypto Granny.
Well, the first thing that came to mind is, I was airdropping all that BOOJI away, not thinking that the project was going to be around very long. So I didn't need the money. And I just thought, oh, this is fun. I love giving shit away. Love it. But I think I would have created the community wallet and airdropped a ton of money in there, and slowly somehow figured out how to convert it into Sol without hurting the charts. But I ended up giving it to people. And what I found out is a lot of people just sold it. So that was a lesson that I learned, that, as much as I kind of thought they would hold it, and they should have, because I was giving it away at, 70K, 100K. And it was short-sighted of them to think that we wouldn't hit 8 million, because we did. That was life-changing money that people were dumping at, 200K or 300K. So I think I would do that differently. There's a lot of things I learned. I when you said people look at me and they think that I got into this naively, I did. Okay, I'm not fooling anybody. I heard one guy say, "Oh, it's cringy. She doesn't know what's coming," and I thought, "Fuck you, dude. I know what's coming, and it's probably not pretty, but I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. It's not going to knock me down. It's not going to change the fact that I, live the lifestyle that I live. It just means that I have to buckle down and adapt and learn as fast as I can. I may be 65, but my brain's still firing like a 35-year-old. So I wasn't really too worried about it. But I did learn that there are bad actors in this space, and they can really try to harm BOOJI, and we do everything we can to protect our community against these people, especially in the Telegram. And then the other thing we do is just move forward no matter what happens. Just you just have to just ignore that and keep the project going. And there's going to be FUD, there's going to be all kinds of stuff flung at us. And luckily I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and then I went to art school in New York City. So there's a certain toughness to New Yorkers, that you can insult us and you can say all kind of stuff, but unless you're a buddy, I don't really care. Unless I respect you on a as a human being, what you think and say really doesn't have an impact on me whatsoever. And I'm not just saying that, it just doesn't affect me. But if I do care about you and I do respect you, then it does get to me. But the people around me have been nothing but supportive. And then I'm like, are you being too supportive? Will somebody just tell me the truth if we're making a mistake? I want that too, because I don't want people just to say, oh yeah, no, you're doing great. No, point out our flaws, point out our weaknesses. Let's, bolster those up. Let's fix anything that I may be overlooking. So the fact that I'm completely open to ideas and suggestions, and I have literally let my team lead me down certain areas that I just didn't have the knowledge. So I know a lot more now, and sure, I do a few things different, but just learn as you go.
I love that. I love that. How about you, Austin?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry, I just went down a rabbit hole. I found a wallet that has $9 billion in it that just bought some Saad. So I just went like,
You found my wallet, bro? Hey, chill.
I just went way down the rabbit hole, man. This thing's got a $2 million Solana balance and a $9.79 billion total balance.
Do they own any BOOJI?
Let me look.
They're about to.
Yeah, or as I say, not yet.
Dude,
they're about
If
to.
they don't, just tell them about BOOJI.
What the hell? No, I don't know. They own a lot of interesting things, a lot of Jupiter, a lot of PayPal, USD, Jito Stakes Soul, USDT, a lot of Popcat, a lot of Monkey, MONKD.
That's fucking Tolly, bro. That's Tolly, bro. The Solana founder. That fool saw me in the live. He bought your shit.
I mean, that would be crazy, but this wallet has a lot of money in it.
Could be an exchange wallet.
That's what I'm trying to find out, man. So I don't even know what your question was.
Binance aped Sad Boy.
Now the question was, and I know you're gonna love this one, Austin. So I know you. What's the one thing, if you can go back in time, December 2nd or whenever the project was, exactly founded, and you could just tell yourself, hey, do this, or hey, don't do this, or hey, make sure that you XYZ, what would it be?
See, it's hard because the thing that I would change is also kind of the thing that made this work. So it's confusing. So I don't know. I mean, that's a really tough one. Like I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, man, I trust myself implicitly, right? To like hold 80% of it and never sell it. But also on the same token, like if we didn't have, I would say maybe out of the first 15, 20 people that bought, there's, like I said, the 7 to 10 that are just rock solid, wonderful people that have been instrumental in the project working. And then there's been 4 or 5 that have only fucking made it harder every time just by being greedy little piggies. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, so I guess I wouldn't change that at all. I'm also a firm believer everything happens exactly as it should. So for me, it's never really a go back and change. It's like I just find the truth, which is I am grateful for it if I'm willing to see it that way. And that's where the greatest lessons I've ever learned all lie. That everything happened exactly as it should. Because like you go back and you look like, man, heroin addiction, would you have done it different? Like when I remember the first time I was on a podcast, my mom heard me say, no, I wouldn't. She's a little pissed, and I get it. And then I learned to say it the right way, which is I regret the pain it caused a lot of people that I care about, but I don't regret anything else because I'm here and I'm the best version of myself I ever would have been. And so to do anything different, I don't know. I guess no, we're here. I mean, the only thing I think is like maybe like be better at Twitter. Like that's kind of it. I don't know. Go back in time and be better at Twitter because that's where all this shit happens. But on the same token, no, I wouldn't change a thing, man. I think it's happened perfectly. We are exactly where we are and exactly where we should be. And that's it and that's all. And because of that, this is going to work. Because of that, it already is working. So I think for us, it's just a matter of taking stock in where we're at and deciding where we want to go and then just moving the team in the right direction, which is what we've done at every turn. We've had some huge steps. Like I can't express enough this weird little group of people that kind of formed the original like whales around this is like, it's blown my mind that like just how much trust, like, so you say don't trust anyone in crypto, like, dude, we only trust each other, and that's why we got here. And these people have worked long hours, they've worked after they got home from their job, they put, you know, their family sometimes in the backseat. I know I've been guilty of that, to be here and to make this work for you know, a mission greater than ourselves. And so I champion them more than anything else, because, you know, for me it's like the nonprofit's always been my favorite thing that we've ever done. And so, like, you know, there's that vested interest, and I'm helping people in recovery, and I'm in recovery, and like, few are in recovery, but most aren't even in recovery, dude. That's the craziest part. Yet they care enough about it to put money that could buy them a house in the back seat, to put, you know, all these opportunities. Like, we got the perfect group of people that I could have never imagined would come together, that are the reason this is working, that are the reason we've gotten as far as we have. And I hope they're in the space listening, because I couldn't personally, I couldn't possibly be more grateful for them, because without them, we don't have shit. And because of the trust we've all been able to build, we got this like wonderful little group that I think is going to do a hell of a lot more than what we've already done, which is really cool. And something I forgot that, you know, to mention earlier when you asked where I want this to be, like, that app will have 100 million downloads. So Saad will be tied to a huge growth project that is going to fundamentally change the way people feel seen and heard and understood and get help. And the Saad holders will be direct beneficiaries of that long term. So all just to encourage everyone to do is, like, trust me, think bigger, and just fucking believe. That's it. That's all it takes.
No, I love that. And for the sad, and we say sad team, and like this wasn't a team that, like, you know, we all got together like, all right, we're gonna launch a coin, and you know, like there's a lot of teams out there where they get together ahead of time, like, let's do this, we're gonna sell at this point, did it, whatever. That's not how our team, we call them the sad board. It's not how this was founded. It was strictly just, you know, we, like, Austin launched the coin, you know, on Pumped Up Fun, you know, kind of the same, you know, the same way as Crypto Granny was saying, just to see, you know, what could happen. And it blew up just like BOOJI, you know, Sad and BOOJI, you know, both have the same, you know, kind of trajectory when it comes to the charts. And you know, we had people who, you know, were just helping. You know, it's Web3, and it's all about, you know, for the people, by the people. And you know, it was the people, and that's all they were. You know, at the beginning, you know, there wasn't a, you know, a team that, you know, made the whole plan to, you know, make this happen and launch and this, that, whatever. It was literally, you know, for the people, by the people. And you know, Austin picked people, you know, based off of who was helping out, and you know, who had the right vision, you know, for Sad Boy in the long term. And so, you know, this right now for the team members, you know, full disclosure, this is a nonprofit, because, you know, we haven't made any money off of this. You know, it's all, you know, you know, we're all traders here. We understand that unrealized profit is an actual profit until you sell. And so, you know, that is one thing to keep in mind, that, you know, all these people, even like Amy, who's currently in the voice chat, you know, they're putting their time here, like volunteering it, whether it's the people in Sad Discord who are, you know, doing the live streams for the crypto trading and the crypto education, doing the alpha alerts, you know, putting their you know, their themselves on the line as traders, you know, by putting the alpha alerts out there. You know, all these people are doing it for the good of the cause, because they want, you know, they genuinely know that Sad Boy's goal is to help people, just like BOOJI's goal is, you know, is to help, you know, in the charitable donations with the gorilla and orangutan funds. And because of that, you know, they see the long term vision, and you know, they believe that, you know, we're building something here for the long term. We're not going to rug, we're not going to leave, and you know, they want to be here, and they, you know, they want to help out. I'm
It's like
curious.
having a piece of a company, though. I mean, it's a startup where
Yeah,
you buy a bag of bougie, you own part of the company, you put your sweat equity into it, and all of your
exactly.
efforts will join all of my efforts and everyone else's efforts, and together we go far. So, yeah, I think it's like, you know, those companies that definitely give away ownership to their employees. Well, that's exactly what a good project can do. So,
I mean, that's, yeah, that's how you create people, employees that actually want to, you know, get the job done and do it the right way. I'm curious, how does your like, because I've only seen you so far, you know, you know, on TikTok talking about BOOJI. I saw on your website you had some team members. How was that formed? Just curious, you know, like who, like what your team consists of and how that all works, and just the
yeah.
process.
Well, half my team is on this call, so that shows support right there. But they found me, honest to God, they found me. And there were a couple of bad actors in the beginning, but it was really clear to me, the two or three or four people that were really rowing the boat hard. And I don't even know if they owned a lot of bougie, but they were just showing up every day and saying the right thing and doing the right thing. And I'm a fairly good judge of character, but you know, there were other people who were acting like they were saying the right thing and doing the right thing, but you could smell it. They were just doing it for their own benefit, and they would be inconsistent. So we just kind of slowly but surely weeded out the bad, and the good guys continued to attract good. And I've said this before that good people attract good people. Well, they can also attract people who want to prey on you, but if you have any judge of character, it's real easy to see through people after a few conversations. So we weeded out a lot of the bad actors, ended up with a core group of maybe 6 or 7 of us, uh, and they'd work very hard to keep the Telegram safe. And we ban people left and right. We ban people who are like, yeah, buy the dip, pump it up, and then the next time they're poo pooing every time the chart dips, and they're just toxic. So my team is very strong. I think we could use a few Web3 developers on our team. That we do have a few holes that I'd like to fill, but I'm real appreciative of the people that have turned out to be the top 6. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I wanted to say, and he touched on this earlier. I think in abundance, okay, and maybe when I was younger I didn't, but I would say like the last 15 years, um, my lifestyle has been comfortable. So I think that there's enough out there for everyone. And I've always been a giver. I prefer to give gifts than to receive, but just found that when I got into a financial position where I could take care of my nieces and nephews and my brothers, and just hand it out, it was just so rewarding. And I just feel the same way about meme coins, which is what I was talking about flipping the script. Is if I just think in abundance and I give it away, it will come back to me. The universe will reward that. They'll see that, that this is a really sound, heartfelt project, and the benefits will come down the road. But if I just think that, give it away, have a big heart, do all the right things, conduct myself ethically, find other ethical people, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think in the universe really takes that energy and spins it back at you. So I just wanted to add that.
And that's so true. It's all. I think I know, Austin. You're a big advocate of energy, and what you give and what you get and all that kind of good stuff, right?
Crypto
Yeah.
is abundance,
Yeah.
not just financial, spiritual.
Yeah, there's some weird intersection here, I feel like, with that
Oh,
stuff. It's just the people. But yeah, I think you give yourself exactly what you think you deserve. You may not be fully aware of that reality, but it is the truth. If you're in a dog shit relationship, it's because deep down it's what you think you deserve. Most people don't want to hear that truth, but it is reality, because why else would you be in it? You wouldn't be. So that's kind of the thing that I had to accept that about myself. Like, I don't know. Addiction's weird. It's like addiction was my effort to save myself, as backwards as that may seem. The drugs were the solution, not the problem. Problem was much deeper than the drugs could ever touch. I just needed to not exist. And so that's the way in which I could do it. And I think that what Sad Boy stands for is really just like it's voice in the dark, man, for the people that don't have it, don't have the courage to speak it at this moment. But so we'll speak it for you until you learn to do it for yourself. Same thing recovery gave me. We'll love you until you learn to love yourself, is what they told me. And they weren't wrong. They really weren't wrong. And the cool part is they continue to love you even after you learn to love yourself. But the reality is, like, can't pour water from an empty well. Until I care about me, I don't have the ability to care about others. I needed to be self-sustaining in order to give. And until that arrives, it's very difficult. Yeah, and can't pour water from an empty well. So I've
I
just
came
always
from a different angle, though. I came from a different angle, which is I had enough, but I just kept giving it away because I believed if I gave it away, it would come back to me. I just never felt like, even when I barely had 2 pennies to rub together because I was living on my own, and my parents cut the tie, I still felt like, well, if I only have 2 biscuits, I'll give you one and a half, and I'll just subside on this half biscuit because I'll find another biscuit. Like, I just have always had this mentality that giving it away means that you get rewarded back. So, but I can appreciate where you're coming from, and that whole mentality of, trying to find yourself and find yourself in the right way. But I think there's different angles to get to the same place.
Yeah, just to be clear, that wasn't any sort of commentary. I don't know what anybody else was saying. If it was interpreted that way, it was not. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't ever think it is. I don't do that. I don't believe in I'm right, you're wrong, or anything. It's nonsense. It's like, this is the experience I had, and that's what it is.
Yeah, it's the same. You get here when you get here, and it's with crypto in general too. You know, people you hear them go, "Oh no, Bitcoin's going to zero. It's a Ponzi scheme." You know, all my boomer friends. I'm like, I've been telling them for 7 years, just buy a little and hold it. But eventually, they start to come around and ask me questions, and how do I download a wallet? And you know, and I get bombarded a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later with a lot of people who are interested now. And my whole thing is, you know what? You got here when you got here, and I'm happy about that. So let's all, you know, figure it out together from the same, you know, vantage point at this point.
I got a question here from one of the people in the chat. This is from Top5950. He was saying, and he's talking about Sad Boy, and this also can relate to BOOJI. He's saying, I'm 1000% sure that this project will succeed beyond our wildest expectations. When we are at 100 million or 1 billion market cap, how will it fundamentally and just in general change our project, or will it change our project? And what steps can we as holders take to prepare for that level of impact when this happens, so we can continue being nice and, you know, and inviting as a community? Because we know how, you know, we're just talking about crypto. You know, right now we're doing organic marketing. You know, we're bringing people that we want to bring in type deal. Eventually, you know, if we're going to get to 100 million market cap, you know, either BOOJI, Sad, you know, either one, it's going to attract a whole different type of audience, a whole crypto type of audience, which is not the same type of audience that we currently have, you know, in the Telegrams, in the Discord. So I'm curious for both of y'all, you know, once BOOJI and once Sad, you know, gets to that 100 million market cap, what, you know, what are the plans, and, you know, what can holders expect, you know, when it comes to possibly some of the toxicity that, you know, that might attract, you know, when it comes to the type of, you know, the type of people who is attracted by, you know, the big money signs and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. I want to start with you, Crypto Granny.
Wow, I don't even know the answer to that question because I've never been there. But um, I think I'm just going to have to rely on myself and my core being and the way I make decisions. And you know, just patience is one of the things it's always been my biggest lesson. Be patient with people, be patient with time. It's not my best quality. I'm very impatient. I want to move things along really quick. I want to get there. But yeah, I don't know. I just think when it happens, you know, feel free to tell me that you don't like how I'm acting, and then I'll reconsider my actions. But for the most part, I just hope that I use the same decision making that I've used to get to where I'm at, because I really don't know what that's going to feel like. I don't know, but I'm excited for it.
You're gonna get there. You better start planning.
Gotta manifest it, right?
I'm gonna need a life coach. I'm definitely gonna need someone to kind of talk me through it.